formula, which is yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam. Whenever you, uh, whatever you remember at the time of death, whatever you meditate upon at the time of death, so you will definitely attain that state of consciousness. That's what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, if you remember me at the time of death, you will reach me. But if you remember something else at the time of your death, you will not reach me. As simple as that. You will reach that something else. So that is very clear in Krishna's. How can the Lord disown a devotee who came to the stage of bhava? Bharat Maharaj came to the stage of bhava. Of course, at the stage of bhava, he developed some bhava for a deer. He compromised on his bhava for Krishna. Huh? So, yes, that was a mistake. But he already made so much of advancement, right? He came to bhava stage and suddenly he became an animal. So, the lesson here is Krishna uh, already promised in the Bhagavad Gita. नेहाभिक्रमणासोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्. नेहाभिक्रमणासोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते means even if you have performed little bit of dharma, little bit of bhakti, that will protect you from the greatest danger. At one point, Prabhupada writes also, what is that greatest danger? The greatest danger is to glide down to lower species. did did Bharat Maharaj not glide down to lower species? He glided down to lower species, which is a deer. From a human body, from the body of a Rajarshi, he became a deer. So, but Krishna protected the consciousness of Bharat Maharaj. Although Bharat got the body of a deer, he did not get the consciousness of a deer. He was not in animal consciousness, he was only in animal body. So, animal body is not very conducive for advancement in spiritual life. Human body is very conducive. But somehow, by Krishna's special grace, in animal body, Bharat was more Krishna conscious than in human body. Right? So on a spiritual plane, he is only advancing in bhakti. On a material plane, he glided down to an animal body, but on a spiritual plane, dear Bharat is more spiritually advanced than King Bharat. King Bharat was distracted in his bhakti, in his sadhana, but dear Bharat was very absorbed in his sadhana. After taking birth as a deer, so this deer went to Pulahashram again and started meditating on the Lord. And eventually the deer gave up the deer body and then entered a Brahmana body, Jada Bharat, and you know what happened later. But the main principle for us to understand here is Krishna is very merciful. Even if we happen to make some mistakes in our bhakti, get distracted, get allured, still Krishna is kind enough to accommodate us. That does not mean a sadhaka deliberately gets distracted in bhakti. That does not mean a sadhaka consciously, in a premeditated way, gives into distraction. But accidentally, incidentally, circumstantially, unintentionally, if you happen to make some mistake or get distracted, you don't lose bhakti. Krishna will deal with you in such a way, Krishna may even punish you in such a way that it will only intensify your bhakti. The first best thing is let's not get distracted in bhakti. Let's perform our devotional service with complete focus and complete absorption. That is the first best thing. But if somebody happens to be distracted, then Krishna will do the needful. Krishna will protect that devotee in a way that will only intensify his absorption in bhakti. So Bharat Maharaj, when he became a deer, his absorption in Krishna became more intense. As king, he was very distracted, but as deer, he was very absorbed. Right. So spiritually, he's only growing. So dear Bharat is more spiritually advanced than King Bharat. Jada Bharat is more spiritually advanced than dear Bharat. So there are three Bharats: King Bharat, dear Bharat, and Jada Bharat. But there is only advancement, evolution in bhakti. Not apparently there is a devolution from the perspective of physical bodies, bodily forms, but spiritually there is only evolution. So we need to recognize Krishna's kindness. We should not uh, take undue advantage of Krishna's kindness and compassion and deliberately get distracted in bhakti. But if we happen to get distracted, Krishna will do the needful. Api chet suduracharo bhajate mamananyabha sadhureva samantavyaha samyaha vyavasito hi saha. So even if somebody does sudurachara, extremely abominable activities, Krishna doesn't disown the devotee. He will somehow manage to reinstate that devotee back in his position as a sadhaka. Right? So a sadhaka must be very, very attentive. And we should not underestimate Maya. Maya is extremely powerful. As Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, Daivi hiesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mameva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantiti. Daivi hiesha gunamayi. So this Maya, which is filled with the three material modes, Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, is duratya, very, very difficult to surpass. But if one sincerely takes shelter of Krishna, then we will be protected from Maya. You please see the example of Kala Krishna Das. Kala Krishna Das was in personal association of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taken only Kala Krishna Das as his assistant in South India Yatra. Only one person. He did not take Nityananda Prabhu also. He did not take Jagadananda Pandit also, or Damodar Pandit, or Advaita Acharya, or even Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He did not take any of his uh, beloved intimate associates or even eternal associates, but he gave that opportunity only to Kala Krishna Das to associate with him in the South India Yatra for 2 full years. Can you just imagine 2 full years you are in the personal company of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? 2 full years. No one else. Only you and Mahaprabhu. Traveling everywhere. Of course, Mahaprabhu during his travels he meets different people, but the constant associate is Kalakrishna Das only. Even in the personal association of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Kalakrishna Das was distracted. When he went to Tamil Nadu, in a place called Vetapani, he was allured by some gypsy woman. He was distracted. He went to their camp. He left Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's association. He went to their camp, right? And um, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had to go to that camp and deal with those gypsy people and rescue Kalakrishna Das. He pulled Kalakrishna Das by his shikha and then brought him back to his place. Now you see, please. Uh, Kalakrishna Das had the personal association of Lord Chaitanya, but he went to this gypsy people. What to speak of Bharat Maharaj, who did not have the association of, forget Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, any devotee. Right? Therefore, association is very, very important. Even while living in a spiritually vibrant community, spiritually vibrant association, Maya is so powerful that we get distracted. How can we expect ourselves to be absorbed in bhakti when there is no association at all? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's personal association was there, accessible to Kalakrishna, that still he was distracted. But Bharat Maharaj, no distraction, no association at all. What else will expect? What else can we expect? There will be distraction, undoubtedly. So, of course, there were some devotees, even without association of uh, any devotees, also they were absorbed in bhakti. But they had the background of previous association. For example, Narada Maharshi, Narada Muni in his past life, as the son of maid servant, he had intense, intimate association of Bhaktivedanta sages for 4 months only. Only for 4 months. After that, his entire spiritual journey was alone. But because of his complete focus and determination, he became Narada Muni, right? He did not have association, but still, although he was traveling alone, meditating on the Lord alone, doing his sadhana, smaranam, Krishna smaranam alone, but still he became advanced in bhakti. That is, there are some devotees who have done like that. But in Prabhupada was struggling practically alone. He created association. But despite certain exceptional success stories, for any general sadhaka, association of devotees is very important, right? And even in the association of devotees, if you are not determined, we'll get distracted. If you are not determined for anything, you'll be distracted by everything. That is the principle in this world. Now, let's let's analyze Kalakrishna Das's case a little more. You know what Prabhupada says? He emphasizes on the importance of determination. And Srila Prabhupada says that in the Madhya Lila, in one purport, Srila Prabhupada says that Kalakrishna Das was distracted in his bhakti even in the personal presence of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because he did not have this quality of determination. There, Prabhupada emphasizes on the importance of determination. Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kurunandana. Bhushakha hi anantasya buddhayo avyavasayana. We need to have determination in bhakti, focus in bhakti. If one is not determined in devotional service, even the Supreme Personality of Godhead also cannot save him. He says like that. Supreme Personality of Godhead can save anybody, can protect anybody. Right? There is nothing that he cannot do. But Prabhupada clearly says that even the Supreme Personality of Godhead also cannot save someone who is distracted and who is not determined in devotional service. It's not about the Lord's ability to save, it's about the Lord's intention to save. The Lord does not forcefully bring us to bhakti. When we want to deliberately get distracted in bhakti, the Lord says, okay, you want to get distracted? Fine, get distracted at your own risk. So, in short, the Lord does not interfere with our minute independence. The Lord, the Krishna does not uh, manipulate us or hypnotize us or influence us to take to the path of bhakti. When we are voluntarily inspired, when we are voluntarily excited and enthused to perform bhakti, Krishna will give us all assistance. Of course, Krishna also inspires us. He will make all arrangements to inspire us to develop that voluntary spirit in bhakti, no doubt. But at the same time, despite having access to all this inspiration, access to all scriptures, access to devotee association, access to the deities, access to so many festivals, still, if you are not taking advantage of bhakti, if you deliberately want to get distracted, then Krishna will allow us to get distracted at our own risk. Getting right? So Krishna doesn't forcefully make anyone a devotee. He will inspire us. He will not impose bhakti on us. He will not forcefully make someone devotee, become devotee. Right? He will not hypnotize anyone. He will not manipulate anyone's mind. He will give sufficient facilities through the scriptures, through the devotees, through the acharyas, through the festivals, through deities, and through various devotional ways. Krishna tries to inspire us in bhakti, but he doesn't force us in bhakti. He doesn't want to force, right? So, if despite having so many facilities, so much of access for many spiritual privileges, if we still want to get distracted, Krishna will not stop us. For that, we need to have determination. As Krishna himself said in the Uddhava Gita, Nrideha madhyam sulabham sudurlabham plavam sukalpam guru karanadharam mayanukulena nabhasvati eritam. Means the human body is like a strong boat. And spiritual master, guru, and acharya is like a captain of the boat. And all the favorable winds that help the boat happily sail across the ocean, they are compared to the scriptures. The material existence is like the ocean. Human body is like boat. And the guru is like the captain of the boat. And the favorable winds are like scriptures. So one who has access to, we are in material ocean, that is very clear. So one who has access to these three privileges. Number one, human body. All of us have. Right. Number two, guru, spiritual master. right? We have access to bona fide spiritual masters, right? Then third, scriptures. Whoever has access to these three and does not utilize that opportunity and does not have some determination to take benefit of these three privileges is like an atmaha, a killer of soul. Soul cannot be killed, but one is degrading one's own soul. That's in that sense they are called atmaha, or killer of the soul. So one has to be determined to access and take advantage of all these spiritual privileges that we have. Mhm. Otherwise, the fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 18th chapter, 4th shloka says, Vadanti Vishwam Kavayasmanashwaram Pashyanti Chadhyatmavido Vipaschitah Tathapi Muhyanti Tava Jamayaya Suvispitam Krityamajam Natosmitam. Vadanti Vishwam Kavayasmanashwaram means this is a part of the prayers of the residents of Jambudvipa. There are so many wonderful personalities who realize that this material world is extremely dangerous. This material world is very, very fearsome, right? Many people realize it. And they don't even understand it personally. Mm. So, vadanti vishwam kavayasmanashwaram pashyanti cha dhyatma vido vipashchitah. Tathapi muhyanti tavaja maya suvismitam krityamajam natosmitam. The meaning of this shloka is that although there are some great philosophers and scholars and preachers who are personally convinced about the temporary nature of this material world, and they can even convince others and they can even preach to others also about the temporary nature of this material world, even such people also can get thoroughly bewildered uh, in their bhakti. Suvismita means extremely bewildered. They're very much bewildered. How? Because of inattentiveness. That's where we are coming to now. Because of inattentiveness in one's own transcendental position, they get influenced by Maya. What is inattentiveness? Lack of determination. That is inattentiveness. Uh, like we say that we have to chant the holy names of Krishna with great attentiveness. We have to attentively chant. And if you are not very attentive, then that's an offense to the holy name. We keep hearing this and we keep chanting this also. That is very much there. However, a sadhaka may not be able to show such deep level of absorption in bhakti, whether it's chanting or different devotional activities. So much of absorption in bhakti is very difficult for a struggling sadhaka. However, in the case of a sadhaka, you know what is attentiveness? In the case of a sadhaka, attentiveness is the attempt to bring the mind back whenever it gets distracted. Right? Attentiveness is the attempt to bring the mind back and focus on your chanting or your devotional activity and your devotional service whenever it gets distracted. As Krishna says, Yato yato nischalati manaschanchalamasthiram tatastato niyam yaitat atmanyeva vasam nayet. Wherever the mind wanders, try to bring the mind back. Try to bring the mind back. Bring the mind back and focus on whatever you are doing. This is Krishna's message. Yato yato nischalati. So, if we don't even attempt to bring the mind back and focus on our sadhana, that is inattentiveness. Like getting distracted is very common, especially in 2025 for a struggling sadhaka, especially those who are very young. Yeah, many of you are like 20s, right? 25? Around 25, right? So at the age of 25 in 2025, in the Kali Yuga, uh, not having distractions, that to living in America, right? 25 age, 2025. Uh, here, Kali Yuga, in Kali Yuga, living in America, with so many facilities, going into universities, my God, not that easy, huh, to focus, to be attentive. But uh, you need to make at least an honest attempt to bring the mind back. Mm. Inattentiveness is common. We understand inattentiveness is very common, but we should not remain inattentive. Being like being distracted is common, but remaining distracted is a problem, right? Getting distracted is very common, but remaining distracted is the problem. What is attentiveness? Don't remain distracted. You get distracted. It's very clear. Your mind is going, for example, you're chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and the mind is going somewhere else. You chanted five mantras and mind went somewhere else. After 5, 10 mantras, you realize, "Arey, I'm chanting." Then you bring the mind back and then focus from the 15th mantra, at least you chant. Then you chant it for till 25th mantra. Again, mind gets distracted. Again, realize it. 30th mantra, bring it back. Right? So, like that, you keep on attempting to bring the mind back. Hmm? So, getting distracted is common, is usual, but remaining distracted is a very big difficulty. Mhm. So, distraction means you're sitting in the class and thinking of something else. Deviation means you don't come for the class only. Right? So do ensure that the distraction doesn't become deviation. You're getting right? The distraction is very common, but ensure that the distraction doesn't become a deviation. Because if we don't pull our mind back with the determination, whenever it gets distracted, we'll be deviated. So distractions are common in sadhaka life, but we should have the determination to bring the distracted mind back and focus on bhakti. That's what sadhaka life is. If you are not getting distracted at all, you're a siddha. You're not a sadhaka. Right? Any siddhas here? Zero distractions. Not name. The quality of bhakti, I'm saying. But those who are not perfect, they're in practice stage, they get distracted. The very fact that they are getting distracted shows that they are practitioners. They are practitioners, right? They are practicing, therefore they are getting distracted. But you practice to bring the distracted mind back. That is called sadhana. Sadhana means to bring the distracted mind back and focus on whatever you are supposed to do. Right? The more vigorously you perform this abhyasa, Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna said, it's very difficult to control my mind. चंचलम हिमनः कृष्ण प्रमाथि बलवदृढ़ तस्याहम निग्रहम मन्ये वायोरिव सुदुष्करम. Chanchalam. Mind is very chanchalam. Mind is extremely turbulent, very obstinate, very restless, very distracted. I cannot control my mind. I can control wind, but I cannot control my mind. Then Krishna said, I know that. He acknowledged it. He did not brush aside Arjuna's concern. Arjuna, you are just complaining. You are giving so many excuses. Controlling mind is very easy. Why are you saying it's difficult? Did Krishna say like that? No. What did Krishna say? Asamshayam mahabaho mano durnigraham chalam. Asamshayam. Undoubtedly, it is very, very difficult to control the distracted mind. Krishna acknowledged it. Even Krishna also acknowledges our problems, our difficulties. Whenever somebody comes to you with a problem, don't just brush aside the problem. Don't just say it's not a problem at all. It may not be a problem for you, it's a problem for them. First acknowledge the problem. It becomes very insensitive on the part of us if we don't even acknowledge the problem of somebody when they're genuinely expressing it, right? Anyways, Krishna acknowledged the problem. Yes, I understand, Arjuna. It's very difficult to control the mind, but try, keep trying. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. Perform some abhyasa. Abhyasa means practice. What is the practice? Bring the mind back, bring the mind back, bring the mind back. That is the practice. Yato yato nishchalati. And what is vairagya? Detachment. Be detached from that person or that thing or that situation or that thought or that emotion or that feeling that is distracting you. Cultivate the detachment. For example, as you're hearing class, some WhatsApp message is distracting you, right? So what should you do? Be detached. from WhatsApp for 1 hour. Class is 1 hour. We'll not have 2 hours class, right? We'll have only 1 hour class today, right? So just at least for this 1 hour, let me be detached from it. If it's an emergency, fine, I tend to it. You may have to do the needful. But if it's not an emergency, it can wait. Why should we get distracted from the class? So basically, practice, abhyasa. Keep on practicing to bring the mind back. And second thing is to be detached. Be detached from the distractions. If you're not detached from the distractions, we are attached to the distractions, then that means we lack determination in bhakti. And one who lacks determination, even Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, cannot save him. Because the Lord does not save us against our interests, uh, against our desire. He will not protect us, right? He wants to protect us. Definitely, he wants to protect us, but not forcefully. When we pray for it, when we really want it, then he will do it. Otherwise, mattaha smritir jnanam apohanam cha. He will give smriti, jnanam, apohanam. He will give remembrance, knowledge, uh, and forgetfulness in reciprocation with our desires. With our desires. If we don't desire to advance in bhakti, he will not force us. But if we desire to advance in bhakti, he will not leave us. He will not leave us at all. He will uh, just hold on to us. Oh, this devotee somehow wants to advance in bhakti. Let me hold on to his hand. I will protect him. Whatever, no matter what it is, I will always protect him. Dadami etad vratam mama. Krishna has taken a vow. Whoever has taken my shelter, I will not leave that person. Krishna has taken a vow. Hmm. But if you don't take shelter, if you're not determined in bhakti, then Krishna says, "Oh, he doesn't want, but still I want him. I'll remain as his as super soul in his heart, and till I will wait till he turns towards me." But when we don't turn towards him, that's the problem. Hmm. All the problems in this world are not because of Krishna's neglect. Krishna doesn't neglect anybody. The problems in this world are caused by our own neglect of Krishna, not Krishna's neglect of us. We are not facing any problem because Krishna neglected us. We are facing problems because we neglected Krishna. Now, I often give this example. Now it's sunrise time. Sun is rising in the east, and you are facing the sun. Oh, I can see shadow also here. You're facing the sun. This is the sun. Bring this light here, slightly here. Yeah, this is the sun, right? When I face the sun, I can see light. See, my hand is having so much of light, right? The light is falling on the sun when I face the sun. But if I turn my face away from the sun, right, then I'll have to see a shadow behind me. Now, the sun is the source of shadow also. Without sun behind me, I will not have shadow in front of me. But I don't have to see this dark shadow if I face the sun. Similarly, if I face Krishna, I don't have to face these problems in this world. Because I have turned my face away from Krishna, I am facing all the problems. All problems in this material world are because of lack of spiritual consciousness. All the anarthas, we are getting overwhelmed by anarthas because we have not taken shelter of Krishna. If we take shelter of Krishna, no anarthas. Right? Anarthopashamam sakshat bhakti yogam adhokshaje lokasya ajanato vidvams chakre satvata samhitam. Anartha upasamam sakshat. So all anarthas are mitigated when we take shelter of Krishna, when we take shelter of Bhakti Yoga. But if we don't take shelter of Bhakti Yoga, we have to face anarthas. But how does, like, somebody happens to come to devotional service, when somebody takes shelter of Bhakti, but after taking shelter of Bhakti, if somebody becomes inattentive, how does Krishna deal with him? That's the question here. We'll conclude with this very important section. We have seen about the importance of being attentive in bhakti. We have seen multiple examples of inattentiveness. We have also emphasized on the importance of being attentive in bhakti. But now, if you happen to begin the practice of bhakti, and while practicing bhakti, you become distracted, then how does Krishna deal with you? The answer is very simple. The way Krishna dealt with Kala Krishna Das, or Mahaprabhu dealt with Kala Krishna Das, the way Krishna dealt with Bharat Maharaj, Ajamil, or many other people. Krishna never disowned those devotees. Once you start the practice of bhakti, we become Krishna's responsibility, even if we get distracted, right? That does not mean we deliberately get distracted. But if we happen to get distracted circumstantially, Krishna will still uh, give us more and more chances. Just like because Bharat Maharaj was inattentive in bhakti, what did Krishna do? Krishna gave him an animal body, which is like a severe punishment for his distraction. But that animal body only intensified his bhakti. So Krishna will punish us in such a way that we take his shelter. When a sadhaka becomes distracted and does some mistakes in bhakti, then Krishna will give him some token punishment in such a way that the devotee becomes more attentive in bhakti. Because of inattentiveness, he got distracted from bhakti. So Krishna will give some punishment, some treatment to that devotee so that he becomes more attentive. Right? That's what he did with Bharat Maharaj. Now coming to the uh, case of Kala Krishna Das, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rescued Kala Krishna Das. And Mahaprabhu allowed Kala Krishna Das to continue to associate with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for the rest of South India Yatra. This happened when Mahaprabhu is going towards South India. Somewhere in Tamil Nadu it happened. But after that, Mahaprabhu visited so many places and again came back to Jagannath Puri in the same path that he has gone in earlier. Means for about 1 year or so, after this distraction, for about 1 year, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu allowed Kalakrishna Das to serve him, even after distraction. After 1 year, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought Kalakrishna Das to Jagannath Puri and told him, and told Nityananda Prabhu, Jagadananda Damodara Mukunda, he told that I am not responsible for this man. He left me and associated with gypsy people. I am not responsible. Mahaprabhu could have said it in Tamil Nadu only. Why did he not say? Because there is no devotee. So Mahaprabhu brought this Kalakrishna Das back to the association of devotees, back to Nityananda Prabhu and other devotees, and in front of them he said, I reject him. I am not responsible for him. Why did he do so? Because they will give shelter. Mahaprabhu, being a strict sannyasi, he cannot approve, he has to disapprove. What is this? Sloka. Ebe ami ihani karilana vidai yaha icha yaha ama sane nahi aradai. Now that I have brought him here, I am asking him to leave. Now he can go wherever he likes, for I am no longer responsible for him. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I am no longer responsible for him. It's like super strictness. Krishna dealt with Bharat Maharaj very strictly by giving him an animal body. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dealt with Kalakrishna Das very strictly by saying, I'm not responsible for him anymore. You see. But Mahaprabhu Mahaprabhu said, I'm not responsible for him in front of other responsible devotees. As a sannyasi, I should not take responsibility of him because I cannot approve his misdeed. But as kind devotees, you should take responsibility. Right? So Nityananda Prabhu found out, how do I engage Kala Krishna Das? He lost service of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He served Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for 2 years and now he lost that service. I must give him some service. So Kala Krishna Das was given this special service by Nityananda Prabhu. And he got approval of Lord Chaitanya also. He said, Nityananda Prabhu told Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, my dear Lord Chaitanya, now that you have come back from South India Yatra after 2 years, someone has to go to Bengal and inform Advaitacharya, Sachi Mata, Srivas Thakur, Murari Gupta, Shivananda Sen, and all the other great devotees there in Navadvip that you have come back to Jagannath Puri so that they can make arrangements to come here and visit you. So we are planning to send somebody. The selected person is Kalakrishna Das. He is the one who associated with you. Mahaprabhu, he said, do whatever you like. Right? It's not like apparently he did not give a heartfelt approval. Do whatever you wish. He kind of indirectly gave an approval. Now Kala Krishna Das, with so much of Jagannath Mahaprasad and some Maha paraphernalia, he went all the way from Jagannath Puri to Navadvip area and he informed Advaitacharya. Advaitacharya, I have a good news for you. What is that? Mahaprabhu is back from South India Yatra. He's now in Jagannath Puri. You can come and see him. Advaitacharya became ecstatic. Then he went and informed Murari Gupta. He went and informed Srivas Thakur, Shivananda Sen. And finally he came to Sachi Mata and said, my dear mother, Sachi Mata, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu completed his South India Yatra and he came back to Jagannath Puri. Can you just imagine the happiness, the joy on the faces of all these great devotees of Navadvip? Can you just imagine? Who became the cause of that joy? Spiritual joy of hearing about Mahaprabhu? Kala Krishnadas. Now, Kala Krishnadas, who has been neglected by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who has been rejected by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in one sense, now he is receiving profuse blessings of Advaitacharya, Sachimata, Shivananda, and all of them. And he also got Jagannath Mahaprasad for them. Can you just imagine the joy of someone who receives Jagannath Mahaprasad? So, someone who has been rejected in one sense became a recipient of divine blessings, of divine associates of the Lord. So, we should not deliberately get distracted, but still, Krishna is extremely kind and compassionate upon someone who has at least once subscribed to the path of bhakti. If once you have subscribed to the path of bhakti, what is it? Registration, bell icon. Once you have clicked that, once you have registered for the path of bhakti, then Krishna will not leave you, right? Whether he punishes you or neglects you or ignores you or whatever he does for your welfare. Even if he gives an animal body, he'll just keep a watch. What is he doing in his animal body? Oh, now he is becoming more serious in bhakti. He's repenting. He has been distracted in a human body. Now that I have given him an animal body, now he's regretting for his mistake. He's repenting for the mistake. He came back to his senses. He intensified his absorption in bhakti. So the Lord punishes us in such a way that we we increase our absorption in bhakti, right? That's how the Lord deals with an inattentive devotee. If you're inattentive, Krishna will ensure that we become attentive. And the process of ensuring could be through negligence, through giving animal body, or through something else, or taking away some privileged opportunity to perform bhakti, right? But Krishna is very kind. Krishna is extremely kind. But we should not take undue advantage of that kindness. Although Krishna is very kind, he may give more and more opportunities to perform bhakti. There is no substitute to voluntary commitment to the path of bhakti. There is no substitute to cultivating individual determination in bhakti. If we are not determined in bhakti, even Krishna does not save us. Krishna can save us, but he will not. Because Krishna doesn't forcefully make anyone pure devotee. He will only inspire. He will facilitate. He will give opportunities, but he doesn't force. So, knowing that Krishna doesn't force, let us force ourselves. Knowing that Krishna will not push somebody to become a devotee, he will only facilitate. Let's accept the facilities voluntarily. So ultimately, bhakti boils down to how greedy are we? How serious are we? How inspired are we? Krishna's mercy is there, devotee association is there, and so many books are there, scriptures are there, spiritual masters is there. All these are wonderful privileges. We are very fortunate to receive them. But if we lack determination, if we lack commitment in the path of bhakti, if we are deliberately being very inattentive in our practice of bhakti, even Krishna cannot save us. He can, he continues, but there is no substitute to voluntary individual commitment and determination on the path of bhakti. Let's cultivate the determination. In our Vaishnava Sangha, we should seek that inspiration. Let me not leave bhakti. Let me be committed to the path of bhakti no matter what happens. If you are inattentive, it's very difficult. Right? There's hope, but the hope remains a hope only when we have determination, only when we want to take benefit of that hope. If we want to deliberately become complacent, distracted, uh, offensive, then we lose a golden opportunity. Mm. So with this, we'll conclude. Thank you very much. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Any questions or comments or clarifications or objections?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I
Yeah,
have a question.
yeah. You can ask,
Um,
Mataji.
yeah. So Prabhuji, we are talking about the attachment of Bharat Maharaj to the deer. So in the material world, I have seen that I have noticed that normally when mothers are having child, so they get lot of attachment to the kids.
Hmm.
So then although they are devotees, so they get distracted. So how these things will be seen, like I mean, it is also attachment, right? And it's a strong attachment. It's by default they are attached
Hmm.
to their child. And then so they kind of compromise with their devotional practices, and it's difficult to do, when they are having. It's also so I understand that, so I'm asking, try to understand like how Krishna
Yeah.
is gonna see this thing.
Yes. It's a wonderful and practical question. It's a responsibility of a parent, mother or father, to take care of the child. And say the child demands some attention. When the child is very small, especially, the mother may have to attend to the child. She may not be able to attend Mangalarti. She may not be able to chant her rounds early in the morning, right? And during the daytime, the rounds may not have great quality, but Brahma Muhurta time is dedicated for some other activities in the maintenance of the child. So how do we understand this? Is it not attachment? Actually speaking, it's a service. Taking care of children by parents is a thankless service. Close this first. It's a thankless service because close this? It's too much of light. So because uh, Krishna has kept this one soul, one child in the care of these loving parents, so that the child becomes a devotee. In future, the child becomes a great devotee, and uh, the child will perfect one's life, and the child will also contribute to the spiritual life of so many other people. For that, the parents are preparing the child. It's not that they are getting into some material attachment by taking care of the child, but they are preparing the consciousness of another devotee. In fact, parenting, especially Krishna conscious parenting, is a great investment. We have seen the examples uh, of Kunti Maharani investing her emotions and investing her so much of time and energy in her relationship with the Pandavas, and made Pandavas into great devotees, right? And also Suniti Mata, she guided Dhruva Maharaj in his devotional service, inspired him to take shelter of Krishna. So when parents do the needful to maintain their children, to raise their children in a Krishna conscious way, the children will grow up as good devotees, and that devotional service done by the child will benefit the child and will benefit so many other people also, and definitely will benefit the parents also, right? So it's a service more than a distraction, more than material attachment. It's a service. We need to see like that. It's Vaishnava Seva. Mm. So for a family member to take care of other family members who are also practicing bhakti, that becomes like a Vaishnava Seva. By default, they are the Vaishnava Sangha. Now, let's meditate on a beautiful prayer by Kunti Maharani. Kunti Maharani in front of Krishna, what she said. अथ विश्वेश विश्वात्मन विश्वमूर्ते स्वकेशु मे स्नेह पाशमिमं छिन्दी दृढ़ं पाण्डुषु वृष्णिषु. She said, "Oh my dear Krishna, why are you leaving this place now?" Because after Kurukshetra war, Krishna was leaving Hastinapur and he was about to go to Dwaraka. Then Kunti Maharani came and said, "Don't go to Dwaraka. If you go to Dwaraka, and leave Hastinapur, who will protect my children? My Pandavas will not have any protector. Then she thought, why am I praying for my kids? It's attachment to my husband's family. If Krishna goes to Dwarka, he will be associating with Vrishnis, and Vrishnis will get Krishna's association, and they will be protected. So I should not think too much about my husband's family. I should think about my parents' family also. Then after that, she thought, why am I thinking too much about my husband's family and parents' family? It's material attachment. Whether it is parental family or this husband's family, ultimately I'm being bodily attached. Then she said, Atha Vishvesha Vishwatman Vishwamurte Swakeshu me Sneha Pasha Mimam Chindi. Please cut this deep attachment that I have towards Pandushu and Vrishnishu. Towards Pandavas, I have deep attachment. Cut it. And towards Vrishnis also I have attachment. Cut it. I'm praying to you for their advancement, for their welfare, for their protection. That means I'm attached to them. I'm on a bodily plane. My prayer is on a bodily plane. She was thinking like that. Then what does she want? She said that Tvayi menanya vishaya matir madhupate sakrit ratim udvahata dadha gange vaugham udanvati. Let my mind not think of anything else. Let my mind flow towards you just as Ganga flows towards this ocean. But Acharyas explain, Prabhupada explains, Kunti Maharani never wanted to cut her attachment towards Pandavas or Vrishnis, although literally her prayer meant that Sneha Pasham Imam Chindi Dradham Pandushu Vrishnishu. I have a strong attachment towards Pandavas and Vrishnis, cut it. She said like that. But what she meant was she had two kinds of attachment towards Pandavas and Vrishnis. One is bodily relation, second is soul relation. Means physically, bodily, there are blood relatives. They are like biological. There is a biological relationship between her and the Pandavas. But spiritually, Pandavas are devotees and she is a devotee. There is a spiritual relation also. She was praying to Krishna, please maintain this spiritual relation and cut this material relation. In short, let me not love Pandavas not because they are my children. Let me love them because they are your devotees. Let them love them. Let me love them. Let me be attached to them because they're your devotees. But let me not be attached to them because they're my sons. They being my sons is a temporary fact, but they being your devotees is an eternal fact. Let me love them for that reason. Right? So we can spiritualize our material attachments. A mother taking care of the child, attending to the needs of the child, and being attached to the child is perfectly bona fide. It doesn't put us out of the realm of pure devotional service, provided we see that the mother sees the child as Krishna's devotee, and whatever service mother is doing to the child is a contribution to the spiritual life of the child. You need to take care of the body of the child also for the child to chant Hare Krishna. Right? Does it make sense, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Whoever
Wonderful
has.
explanation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhuji, I had one question. So two parts in there, but first one I was wondering is sometimes
Mm.
when we follow rules,
Mm.
there is a tendency to get attached to those rules instead of the purpose of those rules. Like in
Mm.
Bharat Maharaj's case, his nature was being a Kshatriya,
Mm.
but because of his his ideology of being of protective instinct,
Mm.
he got attached to the deer. So similarly, in obviously when in the Varnashrama system as well, purpose of the Varnashrama system was to eventually realize that Krishna is supreme and progress. So in that regard, Prabhuji, so sometimes in our spiritual practice as well, how do we ensure that we remain fixed in the purpose of those rules and taste and also at the same time follow rules in a reasonable manner where we're able to develop those.
Okay, good question. Practical question. Prabhu is asking, for those who could not hear, Prabhu is asking that while practicing bhakti, we follow so many rules and regulations, policies and protocols. But sometimes we may miss the purpose of it, right? We may just literally follow the rule, but we may miss the essence of it. Like you see, आराधितो यदि हरि तपसा ततः किम नाराधितो यदि हरि तपसा ततः किम अंतर्बहिर् यदि हरि तपसा ततः किम नान्तर्बहिर् यदि हरि तपसा ततः किम. You know this shloka? Aradhito yadi hari tapasa tatah kim. If you are doing aradhana of Lord Hari, If you are worshipping Lord Hari, what is the use of tapasya? If you are not worshipping Lord Hari, what's the use of tapasya? Antar bahiryadi hari tapasya kim. If you are keeping the Lord Hari within your heart and outside also, what's the need for tapasya? But if you are not meditating on the Lord within your heart, then what's the use of tapasya? The focus is not supposed to be on tapasya. Focus is supposed to be on worshipping of Lord Hari, meditating on Lord Hari, right? Similarly, whatever austerities we do, whether it is Ekadasi austerity or following four regulative principles or whatever it is, we follow them only because they are facilitating our advancement in bhakti, helping us in cultivating our relationship with Krishna. Anukulyasya sankalpam pratikulyasya varjanam. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it is said that when we are too detached or when we are too much attached to cultivating knowledge, this knowledge and detachment will make us hard hearted. Too much of knowledge, that will make us hard hearted. You're thinking too logically, too philosophically, not acknowledging the emotion, not seeing the practicality. You're only seeing from the knowledge perspective. Somebody dies, you say, death is inevitable. Jatasya hi dhruvam mrityur dhruvam janma matasya cha." You're not allowing the person to cry. Right? You are not crying. So we are missing that soft emotions. Bhakti is not meant to make us hard hearted. So, in short, dry renunciation and dry knowledge, too much of gnana and too much of vairagya will make us hard hearted. Right? So, we should not miss the essence. Ultimately, the purpose of sadhana bhakti is to develop that soft emotions for Krishna. The culmination of sadhana is bhava. One who performs sadhana should develop bhava. Bhava means emotion for Krishna, love for Krishna, right? So, if you're not cultivating that emotional bonding with Krishna, just merely following the rule, protocol, policy, prescription, prohibition, just for the sake of doing it, will not take us anywhere. So, we need to focus on the essence. Essence of devotional service is what? To remember Krishna. If you're too focusing on the protocol or policy or rules, strict rules, without remembering Krishna, what's the point? Smartavya satatam Vishno vismartavyo na jatuchit. Sarve vidhi nishedhasyur etayoreva kinkaraha. All the vidhis and nishedhas, rules and regulations that we are saying, policies and protocols, prescriptions and prohibitions, do's and don'ts, they are meant to bring us to the point where we always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. And if that is not happening, what's the point of following rules and regulations? Right. That rules and regulations are not important. Let me remember Krishna. Let me remember Krishna. Devotion is more important, which is correct. But rule has a role to play. Prayojan is to remember Krishna. But you cannot attain prayojana without abhideya. Abhideya is filled with rules and regulations. Right? So, in devotional service, what comes first? Devotion or service? Service comes first before devotion. So, even if you are not remembering Krishna, even if you are not sufficiently absorbed in remembering Krishna while doing a service, do that service. While following a rule, follow the rule. Because we are Vaidhi sadhana bhaktas, our connection with Krishna is primarily through following vidhis. We cannot artificially or prematurely come to a stage where we are always remembering Krishna. If we think so, we are like Sahajiyas. Without sufficient purification of heart, without eradication of lust and envy and greed and pride in the heart, if we imagine ourselves to be on the level of Krishna Smaranam constantly and develop a relationship with Krishna and ignoring some prescribed rules and regulations, then we cannot make advance in sadhana bhakti. A Vaidhi sadhana bhakta has to be connected to the vidhis, rules primarily. And that's how they have developed devotion. So we cannot eliminate the need for abhideya. We cannot reduce the emphasis on abhideya by overemphasizing on prayojana when we are not on that level. Right? Always remembering Krishna is very important. But am I on the level of always remembering Krishna? No. So at least let me follow the vidhis. For example, somebody told me, What is the point of chanting 16 rounds without focusing on these rounds, without remembering? We are getting distracted every now and then. If I chant with full focus. Otherwise, I don't chant only. No, you may not have focus as a sadhaka. In 16 rounds, uh, in 108 mantras in a round, you may not remember even, you may not even focus on 8 mantras or 10 mantras also. Mind may be distracted too much. But still, we chant 16 rounds. Getting right? Even if we are not happy and not absorbed in chanting 16 rounds, still we chant because there is a commitment to following the instruction given by the Acharya. So, although we are not getting goosebumps or tears in the eyes or ecstasy, Sweda, Ashru, Pulaka, Kampa, we are not getting all these ecstatic symptoms while chanting, still we struggle to chant attentively or inattentively. Somehow we manage to complete our round 16 notes. We are committed to that figure. And while committing that to the figure, you slowly increase your level of absorption, right? So therefore, we need to focus on the vidhi also, on the rule also. Eventually, we'll develop devotion. If some prescribed amount of sadhana, following some rules and regulations is not there, although we are not yet on the level of experiencing the ecstasy, still by following the rule, one day we'll experience that ecstasy. First comes sadhana, then comes bhava. First comes service, then comes devotion. While doing service, you may not have great devotion, but service is the way to develop the devotion. To conclude, let me give one more pointer. In sadhana bhakti, in there are 9 stages of bhakti, right? From Shraddha to Prema. Prema comes first or Nishtha comes first? Ruchi comes first or Nishtha comes first? Nishtha means steadily practicing all the rules and regulations of bhakti. Ruchi means having taste. Taste comes later. First you practice. What's the point of reading Bhagavatam when we are not finding taste in it? Read Bhagavatam to get taste. What's the point of chanting Hare Krishna when I don't have taste for it? To cultivate taste, you have to chant. First comes consistency in our attempt. Then comes ecstasy in that activity, right? Then comes taste. To develop taste, we have to perform sadhana. So we have to follow rules and regulations strictly as much as humanly possible to to come to the stage of absorption in bhakti. So we cannot ignore a rule, even if we are not. Of course, understanding the spirit behind the rule is more important. But even if you don't mm, get that deep level of absorption, following the rule will eventually bring you to that level, right? Because the discipline is what is suggested by the acharyas. Does it make sense? Yes, Prabhu. Yes. Any corrections? Does it make sense? We'll ask your local acharya. Are you speaking about that to-do list in your sadhana card? Fill sadhana card or do whatever is prescribed sadhana, even if we are not finding so much taste in it. Eventually, we'll develop the taste. Okay, it's 7:45. Should we conclude here? I have one more question. Any questions?
Sure.
Yes, Prabhu.
Sometimes when we hear of like these stories of fall down in Shastra or otherwise, like our mind tricks us by right.
Cried out and frustrated because of the fire of bhakti. Yeah, then what's the question?
We want to like be safe. We don't want to do too much.
What do you mean by doing bhakti too much?
Like not overextend ourselves or just
Oh, okay.
whatever is comfortable for yourself.
Okay.
Not take like let's say too much responsibility on.
Okay, I got it. Fine. Be practical, definitely. Uh, you can do what is comfortable, but don't remain in comfort zone. We need to come out of that comfort zone also. Many times it is said that bhakti begins when you come out of comfort zone, right? So some discomfort has to be there, some austerity has to be there, but don't extend. You have a rubber band here. I often show this to in the kids class. Give me a rubber band, bro. Let's demonstrate something. You can extend yourself, you can stretch yourself a little bit, but ensure that it doesn't cross certain limits. Now this rubber band is there. It has around 2-inch diameter, right? 2-inch diameter rubber band here. Oh, in the white background it is seen nicely. Now if you have to put something inside it, say you have to put this bottle. This bottle has I think 3-inch diameter here, or 3 or 4-inch diameter. It cannot go inside. So you need to stretch it a little bit, then it goes, right? It would accommodate. So stretching is required. Now, if you stretch even more, you can even put two bottles also in it, right? One more, right? One more, there's space for one more bottle. But if I stretch beyond its limits, now this 2-inch rubber band can become, 4-inch, 5-inch, 6-inch, like that. If I stretch more, it will break, right? How much is too much? You need to understand. You can put, one bottle, you could easily put one bottle now by stretching little bit. Mhm. And if you don't stretch at all, it cannot accommodate that also. So some stretching has to be there. If it stretches too much, it will break. How much you can take, you decide, depending on your ability. Uh, mm, if you put some effort, there's a big pot here. This flower pot or this plant pot is there. If you put some effort, na, we can just move it easily, right? Uh, but if you don't put effort, you cannot move. But even if you put so much effort, you cannot move the wall, right? Wall can you move? It's beyond your capacity. The pot you can move, wall you cannot move. Similarly, we have ability to stretch ourselves and do some things apparently beyond our capacity, which apparently seem like beyond our capacity. Uh, but if you stretch a little bit, you can do it. But there are some things you cannot do at all, even if it's overstretch. There you just understand is beyond my capacity. I cannot move the wall. I can move the pot, right? So I can stretch it to 5-6 inches only. I cannot stretch it to 12 inches or 15 inches or 100 inches. It'll break, right? Know your breakdown point. So this is called positive stress. Stretching up to your full limits and growing up to your full potential is called positive stress. But if it makes you very anxious, makes you very disturbed or exhausted, it is called negative stress. So being in comfort zone means not taking any stress on yourself in bhakti. But extending yourself reasonably, moderately means accepting some positive stress and growing up to your full potential. But if you are overstretching yourself, breaking down, then it is called negative stress. So let's avoid negative stress. Let's adopt positive stress. Don't remain in comfort zone. So then we can advance in bhakti nicely. How much is too much? You decide. Different individuals have different capacities, right? Not everyone can do everything. So you understand what you are good at, what you can do, and how much you can stretch, and do the needful. Take some guidance. Okay. Hare Krishna. Do you have time? Yeah. Last question.
Yes. So we understood that we are not supposed to be distracted,
Mhm.
but what happens is when, like the case of Bharat Maharaj, when he's already attached to the deer, then that functionality which helps him to tell discrimination, which helps him to tell that this is not good, that is lower than the force that is telling him to associate. So if there are two forces that are pulling,
Okay, got it.
and then one force is telling that no, this is good.
The bad dog is shouting
Bad dog is shouting
louder
more
than the good
louder.
dog. Okay.
So that's was same similar case with Kaliya Krishna,
Kaliya
Kaliya
Krishna
Krishna
Das.
Das as well. So when one knows intellectually that this is not right,
Mm.
but when I will take it,
Mm.
but when one ends up doing that's not right, while he's doing also he's knowing that it's not right. But then after doing also he knows that it's not right, but he ends up repeating it again and again, in spite of knowing it's not right.
Makes one do things even against one's will, uh, knowingly, although they know that it is wrong, still they do it, despite knowing it, despite knowing the consequences, also they will do it. Just like somebody who's too addicted to some sweet, knowing that doctor has told him not to eat that sweet, knowing that it will cause some bad consequences to him, still he's so addicted to that sweet and he will eat it. Eating sweet is an innocent mistake. There are some more deliberate mistakes that people do knowingly. Ignorance is not the cause of every mistake. Even in knowledge, people do mistakes. Why? Lack of determination, lack of purity of heart. Because of weakness of heart, people commit some mistakes even knowingly, knowing the consequences. So we need to cultivate that purity of heart and strength of heart. And that happens by two ways. In two ways. Number one, following Shastra. Sincerely studying the Shastra and cultivating the determination to apply the principles of Shastras. Second, by associating with devotees. When we sincerely associate with devotees who are stronger than us, who are more committed to the path of bhakti, who are more determined to uphold values and virtues and principles and morals and rules and regulations, in the association of such disciplined and determined and dedicated devotees, we also develop some determination. Then we'll not knowingly do mistakes. Some unknowing mistakes will happen, but knowingly we may not do the mistakes, hopefully, right? And one more thing that helps us is prayer, an honest prayer. Krishna, I know it's wrong. I know I should not criticize devotees. I know I should not get distracted in japa. I know um, I should not speak lies. I know I should not overeat. So all these I know, but still I'm unable to put it into practice. So can you please help me? Say sincere prayer. It all begins with sincere desire. Once you have sincere desire, you sincerely endeavor by studying Shastra and associating with devotees and sincerely offer a prayer. One day will Krishna will give us that ability. Most people who do mistakes in this world, they do knowingly. Does it sound surprising to you? Many people do mistakes unknowingly also, but many people also do knowingly. Right? So uh, when we know, we should try not to do. But to get that strength to not to do, so we need prayer, we need support from other devotees, and we need to have a very strong philosophical foundation. Otherwise, we know something but we forget it. We need regular reminders by regular Shravanam, regularly being in touch with Shastra either through reading or hearing, that will give us regular reminders. Otherwise, we know, but we may not, that knowledge will not come to our rescue when we are giving into some unmentionable anartha. Association will help. Does it make sense? Association. When we are alone, mind plays with us. When we are with devotees, then mind does not have much opportunity to exercise its whims. For example, when you're alone with your smartphone, if some recommended video comes, which is not necessary for you, or which may be very bad also, you feel like tapping on it when you're alone. Just let me touch it like this. Just one touch. Smartphone. I'll do a smart touch. But when another devotee is next to you, you will not touch it. You'll immediately close it. Array, distraction. Leave it. Put it in your pocket. Why? Association has that power. At least our what to say, inclination to protect our image in the presence of other people, at least that will protect us. Ego bachayega humko. Right? At least our ego or our attachment to public image, social prestige will at least protect us. Therefore, as much as possible, try to keep yourself in the association of devotees. Right? Especially in Kali Yuga, privacy is an enemy. Right? Not that you're always with them. You need to have your private space to do some positive activity. But generally speaking, privacy is an enemy, especially for the renounced order, right? So, especially with internet, right? Privacy with Wi-Fi, it's more distracting. Nowadays there is some private tabs also, right? Privacy tab, private tab. So incognito. Right. So whatever you do, it will not be known to anybody. Fine. You may have to. People use it for bank accounts, right? The bank account. They use accessing some confidential things. They use all that. It's fine. But sometimes privacy could be an enemy. We should try to keep ourselves in the association of devotees as much as humanly possible. When there's no opportunity, that's a different thing. But okay. Thank you very much. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Let us thank Gauranga Darshan for putting out his time from his schedules